The boy's superpower can grant any wish, so he had a bold idea. He wanted to be the president of a beautiful country, and the next thing he knew,
Thank God we found you, sir. Sorry? We've been looking for you everywhere.
the guy was forced into a limousine. The bodyguard was almost shot in the head as the door closed. As soon as he sat down, his assistant threw papers at him. This one's about the Ministry of Defense and that one's a government financial report. And global warming. The guy was so scared, he had to get everything back to normal. When he got home, he was terrified. It's not easy being president. At night, he brushes his teeth in front of the mirror and looks at the loser in the mirror. He had the idea to change his appearance, but he turned himself into Albert Einstein. He had no choice but to go back to being Einstein. Then he wanted to be strong again. The next moment, he had 16 pack abs. The guy was so impressed with his ability, he was in a state of euphoria. He wanted to share it with others, but he was afraid of what might happen. After weighing his options, he told Fat Tiger about his supernatural power, but Fat Tiger is a normal person. After hearing what he said, he thought he was bullshitting. Until the guy waved his hand, and made the skeleton in the office move. And then he waved his hand and made flowers grow in the office. Fat Tiger finally believed him. The two of them won a horse race in the afternoon with their powers. At night, the boy returned home. He suddenly thought of the pretty girl downstairs. This gave him a bad idea. He waved his hand and floated directly on the roof of the girl's house, but the girl found him and screamed. The guy was so scared that he quickly returned everything to normal, and also waved his hand to erase the girl's memory. Seeing that the plan failed, the guy thought of a more direct way. This time he chose to make the girl fall in love with him, but what he didn't realize was that there was a problem with the cosmic energy. At this time, the boy no longer has supernatural powers, but after making a wish, the doorbell of his house was rung. When he opened the door, it was the girl he'd been longing for. I'm going to omit 10,000 words here. It turns out that the girl came here of her own free will. She had already had a crush on him during a previous encounter. The next day, he woke up and the girl was gone. She left a note saying she was going to work. The boy was happy to eat his breakfast, but he's surrounded by a big yellow dog that barks and barks and barks. He impatiently waved his hand so that the rhubarb could talk, but soon he'll have to pay for his behavior. At noon, the girl came to see him, but he heard Rhubarb talking in the kitchen. Thinking he's hiding a man in the kitchen, he turns and walks away. He went after him to explain, but even with his magic, he couldn't catch up. At noon, the girl came home. When she opened the door, she found a man standing in the living room. The girl was so scared that she hurried to lock the door. It turned out that the man was the girl's perverted suitor, Dajwang. The girl was terrified by the man's frantic pursuit. At that moment, he took advantage of the situation and dragged the girl into his home. The two of them had a romantic candlelight dinner together. He confessed what happened during the day. He explained that the person who spoke was not someone else, but Rhubarb. He said he used magic to make him talk, and that he could magically give the girl a bigger table and a gorgeous office with a view out the window. But the girl thought he was sick in the head. She told him not to be afraid and to seek medical attention. At that moment, there was an unexpected visitor. Daejang broke the glass and entered the room. He pointed a gun at him and told him to stay away from the girl, but he didn't panic when the gun was pointed at him. He said he wasn't afraid of the gun. The two argued and fought together. Maisie looked at the two men in front of her. One is a big fool and the other is a fool. No one is normal. She was so angry that she slammed the door. At that moment, the young man finally used magic to defeat Biggie. He even threw his body around. Then he told him that his right hand has magic. With a wave of his hand, he could make all his wishes come true. And this made the evil-minded Daejang greedy. So when he turned around, he was knocked down and fainted.